I know where Florida's mind was at, but apparently it was in the right mindset. There was a little scuffle before the game. That always usually happens between two in-state rivals, where most guys know each other. Played against high school ball and Pop Warner ball growing up. And it didn't look pretty early. 7-7. Florida missed a lot of opportunities to start the game. 3 interceptions to end the first half on their final 3 drives. And then, but Florida turned it around, finally getting Anthony Richardson involved, who clearly looks like the better quarterback, and obviously Damian Pierce getting the ball. I love that. The true senior who, when his helmet got popped off, showing a lot of fire and a lot of grit, and mind-boggling to me that he didn't get the ball more throughout the year. So, as I'm trying to see if Florida's interim coach, Coach Knox, went to the podium and said anything, as Florida wrapped up longest college football game in the history of noon games. I couldn't even get over that. How there were so many penalties, so many reviews. Some of the things that Mark Jackson and Robert Griffin III were saying there on the broadcast was, I was glad for it to be over. But 4-hour game concludes. Florida's 6-6 season. They'll finish with a toilet bowl, and then so Florida gets an extra 15 practices, and then they go on to the final month before they head to spring ball in April. Let me get a couple of comments, and then I'll talk about Florida's head coaching, where it looks like it's headed with Napier, which should be expected the next day or two. Bowl season will be important this year for the new coach to get in practice and get to know his team. Yeah, I don't know if, say it's Napier, I don't know if he will be with the team and coaching with the team. Usually, when a coach comes in, they usually keep the same staff, and then they roll, and then they peel off after the bowl game. That's something I thought about earlier, because, this whole staff knows pretty much they're not staying after this year. So, you have to think Napier has to get his whole staff. And while he's doing that, he's also got to go out recruiting, because, good Lord, think about how far behind Florida is behind the 8 ball with getting guys in. So we'll see how that goes. But I think it'll probably be the same staff for the bowl game. And then some serious changes will be made. And then head coaching will be made Sunday or Monday. Feel bad for Emory. Yeah, in a way. Obviously everything that's happened to him on the field has been because of him. But, especially in an area like we live in now, when, guys don't get the opportunity they want, or they, don't get what they want, they just go and bail and hit the transfer portal. And Emory Jones was one of the few guys that stayed. But with that being said, when your name is called and the opportunity is there, you got to capitalize. And Emory Jones, if you look at what's happened from the first game all the way to now, from Labor Day weekend, the first weekend in September all the way to Thanksgiving weekend, he's made the same mistakes. Not making the right reads, thinking too much, throwing to the other team when, he's not dropping it in the bucket on some throws. His running ability was decent this year, but I expected a lot more out of Emory Jones. I expected Anthony Richardson to be what he was, not as, not some of the plays that he's made, when, hurdling defenders. I obviously didn't expect that, but I expected a lot more out of Emory Jones. But I expect him to hit the transfer portal here soon after the bowl game. I think Emory Jones has taken his last time as a Florida Gator. Yeah, I think after the bowl game, that'll be it for him. As if you guys are just joining us, this is the Gators' final report. As obviously last week, Dan Mullen was let go Sunday, along with what was the week before, or 2 weeks before. I can't remember which week. No Dan Mullen, no Todd Grantham, no John Hevesy for this game. And so it looks like that the go-ahead runner is going to be Napier. There was a lot of names being thrown around, discussed. Bob Stoops was the favorite that was thrown around. I don't see him coming out of the TV job soon. Dave Aranda from Baylor. He looks like he's going to get a fat contract from Baylor. James Franklin was a name thrown around. I don't see. Well, obviously it's now James Franklin. I didn't see James Franklin fitting at Florida, and also James Franklin's about to get a fat contract at Penn State. Mel Tucker, same situation, $95 million, 10 years, and all those buyouts are huge. So then the couple of names that are left were Lane Kiffin, Napier, and there's another name I can't remember. But I thought it was going to be those two guys. And I didn't think it was going to be Lane Kiffin because he doesn't – not that he doesn't fit Florida's culture, but I don't think Scott Strickland would take a chance at him. When I say take a chance, I mean I didn't think – this is what's happened with Florida, with their last two head coaches and what they want from their next coach. And then, again, this is all from Matt Hayes, writer for Saturday Down South. I interned for him at 1010 Excel in Jacksonville radio station, which is the flagship station for the Gators. Florida doesn't want weird. Florida wants someone that is that is not quirky, is not awkward like Mullen or like McElwain. Someone that you can see and you can have a conversation with. Someone that is going to show up to basketball games and baseball games and softball games and not have any issues when it comes to off the field. McElwain with the death threats. That was weird. Mullen, how many times did he go in front of a podium when his personality wasn't good in front of a podium with a camera in front of him, and he would try to make that his personality, like you saw after Missouri's game last year when he came out with Darth Vader. That's not Dan Mullen. So in this next head coach, that's what they want. And then two, Florida wants stability. That's obvious. And then obviously you want someone that's going to hit the recruiting trail. And you see this in any business. When any business is poor at one thing and that whole staff leaves and you get another staff to come in and take over a business or a program, whatever that business did not do well, you want to fix that immediately. And right now that's recruiting. And Napier has had ties to Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney. And at Louisiana, I think I saw the stat said the last 20 years, Louisiana averaged like three to four wins a year. And right now he has them at 10-1. I also heard that Napier's turned down jobs similar to Florida. I think Auburn wanted him. He turned down that job. I think LSU wanted him. I could be wrong on the LSU part. LSU wanted him possibly. I think he turned down that job, meaning he was waiting for the right fit for him to take over. Hugh Freeze was the other name. Thank you, Johnson. Napier's the guy. He doesn't seem like he's awkward. He looks like he's very involved with everything that's happened around the football program. So that's where it looks like Florida's going to go, and I'll be interested to see the staff he hires, because whoever is going to be your O-line coach, he has to be an elite recruiter, because he has to make up for everything that John Hevesy didn't do in the previous 3 years. I saw something in the 18 and 19 class. Florida only got 2 D tackles in each class. That's pitiful. Right now, and the top 50 recruits in the state of Florida, Florida has 4 of them. That's inexcusable. That's not something that should be happening at the University of Florida. And it's not hard if you get the right guy to come in. And I'm not expecting instant success with Napier. This roster does not have guys that can go blow for blow with Georgia, with A&M, with Alabama. And, as I pull up Florida's 2022 schedule, I think Florida plays A&M, if I'm not mistaken. They open the season at Utah, or excuse me, Utah at home. Yeah, so and Florida plays. So this is Florida's schedule next year. It's Utah, Kentucky, USF, all three at home, at Tennessee, and then Eastern Washington, Missouri, LSU, all at home, except for the Tennessee game. So the first half of your season before the Georgia game, Florida plays at home. You play your cocktail party at Jacksonville, and then you play at A&M, South Carolina, at Vandy, at Florida State. Florida in no way, shape, or form has the roster to compete with A&M, to compete with Georgia. And maybe I would even make it a stretch LSU. If LSU can get their guy, a decent head coach, LSU's roster right now is better than Florida, in my opinion. So that has to be your emphasis when Napier comes, well, I believe, to Florida. And also another thing with the coaching changes, there was as I see Palmer drops Keith Savage. There were a lot of players that were very outspoken that went to Twitter. I guess this was Sunday or Monday, and they wanted to keep Coach Savage. So we'll see if they keep him. He's one of the guys. He's one of the better guys in the business at strength and conditioning. Players want him there. I don't know how much of an influence that Scott Strickland will have. If he listens to his football players, but I did see that. And also with Napier, no one knows what Napier's going to be like. Florida thought Will Muschamp was going to be a decent hire because he was the guy in waiting at Texas, and then obviously, that it didn't happen, and the offense was pitiful. So Florida goes out and they get McElwain. McElwain takes Florida to 2 SEC championships, but he came to fix the offense, and the offense never got fixed. So you get Mullen. Mullen is supposed to come and fix the offense. Offense got fixed, but the defense fell behind miserably. So, whenever you go through hires and, the previous regime all leaves, and if they do something really poor, usually that's something that's what you usually value in the next in your next staff. So your next staff is probably going to prioritize recruiting and getting a good defensive coach because, well, the offense has been good. So we'll see how it is. I'm not going to make opinions. Again, I'm not I'm not expecting instant success with anything that happens out of Napier. He's going to have to lay the foundation brick by brick because I think that this locker room has been lost since the end of last year after Florida lost to LSU with 50-something scholarship players, the Alabama game where you almost beat them, couldn't get off the field, and then obviously the Oklahoma game, and then everything that's happened pretty much after the Georgia game. It's been all over the place.